I've been sharply criticized by certain groups of people for debunking just one part of RFK Jr.'s letter to Congress about his decision to no longer recommend COVID vaccines to pregnant women. Surely, they claim, I'm hiding the rest of the story. Well, today I'll show you his other claims in the letter and you can decide for yourself. Kennedy wrote 3 sentences with 3 citations to substantiate his decision to pull the recommendation for COVID vaccines in pregnant women. In my last video, I showed you only the first sentence, which said a number of studies in pregnant women showed higher rates of fetal loss if vaccination was received before 20 weeks of pregnancy. As we discussed, the cited study actually showed the opposite of that finding, showing no difference in miscarriage rates between unvaccinated and vaccinated pregnant women. Kennedy is lying to Congress under the pretense of evidence. The second claim says that another study showed statistically significant increases in preterm birth, pointing to citation 9, safety of SARS-CoV-2 vaccination during pregnancy, obstetric outcomes from a large cohort study. First of all, that paper did not find an increase in preterm birth. From the abstract, the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine appears to be safe in pregnancy with no increase in incidence of preterm labor. Second of all, that paper was tiny, including about 5,600 pregnant women total. For point number 3, I need you to mentally lock in for like 15 seconds. That study did find that when they subdivided up all the women and they looked only at the women in the second trimester, which at that point was down to like 900 women, there was an apparent increase in the rate of preterm birth. However, that runs contrary to the findings of much larger systematic studies. For example, this analysis of 11 studies with around 90,000 pregnant women showed actually a 17% decreased rate of preterm birth after COVID vaccination compared to unvaccinated pregnant women. Another large systematic review also found that pregnant women who received COVID-19 vaccines had no increased risk of preterm birth or other concerning outcomes, concluding no safety concerns for COVID vaccination during pregnancy, and that the findings supported authorized or approved COVID vaccines for pregnant persons. But instead of reading these larger, higher quality studies, Kennedy found the single, small study with a single data point from under 1,000 people that supported this idea that vaccines are dangerous. That means he's lying to Congress under the pretense of evidence. The third claim he made makes it obvious he's just using AI again to come up with evidence to support his claims and not even reading the resulting citations. He said yet another study showed an increase in placental blood clotting in pregnant mothers who took the vaccine, citing study number 10. Study 10 is by Faxova, COVID-19 vaccines and adverse events of special interest. Not only did that study not find any risk of placental blood clotting, it didn't even mention placental blood clotting, like it's not included in the paper whatsoever. The only way that could happen is if Kennedy's team asked AI to find a paper to support their claims and then forgot to check if it was true. However, another paper that actually did study placental outcomes in pregnant women after vaccination found no difference between vaccinated and unvaccinated groups, quote, emphasizing the safety of vaccination during pregnancy. And listen, I think it's great that Kennedy thinks more people should eat whole foods and fewer sugary beverages. That's all fine, I agree. It's that he has now repeatedly demonstrated he's incapable of rigorously assessing medical literature that informs decisions to affect millions of pregnant women and children.